You know, today's video is basically about school stories. I was watching Pegasus's video and I was thinking, what if I made school stories part 4? Because I was planning to make all the way up to part 6 a month ago. Like I planned for part 6 to come out a month ago, but since I lost my to-do sheet, I lost all of the data, and I was supposed to do these specific stories on these specific episodes. But now I'm not doing that because, well, I can't. I lost the to-do sheet. But I just want to talk specifically about the many issues for the education experience in school in general. Okay? And there's this new law, this new thing passing where you cannot have or you cannot use phones on school property, which will take effect in the 2025-2026 school year at the end of it. And then after that, you won't be able to use your phones at all, even if a teacher says you can, even if the school allows it for this specific day. The people still say you cannot use your phone. Can I just talk for a second about this and stuff? Can I just talk basically and tell y'all how dumb this is? Because there are many other problems with the learning experience than just being on phones. I mean, sure, phones were a little bit of a problem. Anyone who's still in school would know that sneaking on phones would be some of the problems, but that's not much of an issue anymore, since people or teachers can suspect when you're on your phone, and students are not exactly the type to be so silent and secretive about this stuff. Because if you're gonna have your phone out, you gotta make sure the people around you and the people that are seeing you with their phone out are also on your team too. Because if not, they're on your radar. And soon, the teacher will be on your radar. And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. If you don't, that means that if there's somebody sitting next to you and they're used to being a tattletale, don't sneak your phone out next to them. Well, whatever. What I'm trying to say, the big point, is that phone was not a big issue, okay? There were bigger issues, honestly. What should have been taken down, or what should have been better dealt with, is fighting. Fighting is a main distraction, okay? Fighting once happened when we were in the classroom and some of the students that were in my classroom started running to the door. And not only is fighting a major distraction, it is also very harmful and dangerous, yet nothing has really been taken to deal with this. And I think that if you can take a crack at killing phones, you can do things to fighting, because fighting is a big issue. But also, finding weird or different websites to play games on. This ranges from games that have math or educational names. Like, for example, if you put school reading and writing, and then the website would actually be full of not necessarily educational games, but just games like driving games, sporty games, even games like 8-ball pool, and those type of games, and other games that are like just other like Danny's playing source, whatever. But stuff like that, I think that's a bigger distraction because that's been done like the most out of everything here. Because tell me you don't remember a time, period, when somebody was playing games in a classroom. And I'm not talking about if you're a prehistoric dinosaur. I'm talking about if you grew up with computer games and the kids knew how to rig the blocking system and completely access games that the school or the district would never want you to access. So what I'm saying is they're bigger fish to fry than phones. And I just made this video basically to talk about the new law. Because the new law or whatever, it's crazy. Phones were not such a big issue. Phones were not the main issue. What was the main issue was fighting and finding other websites on their computers that were access to games. Because people have played games in class on their computer way more than on their phone. And I just think it's a dumb new thing to take place because it literally does nothing. Excuse me if I've talked a lot in this video. It's just that I've been around a whole lot of old people in my life. You're listening to a late bloomer right here. So I've had to listen to a whole lot of older people and adapt to hearing what they're saying, even if it's a whole bunch of nonsense and yapping. So while you guys are looking at FNAF, UC, and what's the dude, Hippo thing, I'm actually listening to what he's saying versus you guys being like, shut, how the dude talks for an hour. I'm sitting there listening to him, listening to his stories, bro. But whatever.